The word Adi Yogi means the first yogi. We don't know the exact time, but it's somewhere over 15,000 years ago. That much we know because of certain relics we have found and certain things that have been said, certain astronomical phases that they've talked about. Based on this, we estimate it's over 15,000 years ago, we don't know the exact time. So the significance of Adi Yogi is this: for the first time, for the human beings, he said, if you are willing to strive, you can cross all the limitations that nature has set up for you. Only thing is if you're willing to strive. And above all, the most important thing of this is, he's the first one. I don't want to take the credit away from the English people. Charles Darwin spoke about evolution about 150 years ago. You had a 200th birth anniversary recently. So, Adiyogi spoke of evolutionary process over 15,000 years ago. He spoke in a different language. When they asked how life happened, what is its beginning, what is its end, when his disciples asked him, he said, the first form of life was fish. Second form of life, he said, is a turtle, of amphibious life. That means life is moving out of water, finding its way on the land. You Indian people know about the 9 avatars. The next one is an animal, usually is called a wild boar, because wild boar is supposed to be the most physical creature among the mammals. So he says, it's a wild boar. Next one is half man, half animal. Next one is a dwarfed man. Next one is a full-fledged man but emotionally volatile man. Next one is a peaceful man. Next one is a loving man. Next one is a meditative man. The next one, which is yet to come, is supposed to be a mystical man. That could be you. Because if you pull out a small thing in your hand and start speaking to somebody in India or America, you're quite mystical. If you only… Yes. I'm saying, if only you had a phone 100 years ago, you could claim you're God and people would have believed it. Yes or no? So, he is not talking about individual people, he is talking about different stages of evolution. If you look at what Adi Yogi spoke, in many ways it runs absolutely parallel to what Charles Darwin spoke 150 years ago. So he spoke about evolution and he said, till now evolution happened without your consent. Now you have the privilege to decide how far you want to evolve. This is he said, this is the most significant aspect of being human is this, that you decide your evolution. When you were a monkey, it's not my statement, it's Charles Darwin, okay? When you were a monkey, you did not decide, I want to become a human being. Nature just pushed you on for whatever reasons. But now that you're a human being, now you can decide what kind of a human being you want to be. This moment you can be like a brute, next moment you can be godlike. Both are possible for you right here. So he said the most significant dimension of being human is you determine your evolution. This is the only creature on the planet who has that freedom to do that. He said this is the most important thing, and he gave 112 methods through which a human being can evolve to their ultimate nature. So that's why Adi Yogi.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I would like to know about science of consecration, and if I'm worthy of knowing it, how do I go about it?
Oh. Well, we must congratulate Yelda, because in the next 3 weeks she will be a mother.
Thank you.
This is terrible gender discrimination because only women are ever allowed this privilege. So, she was talking to me about how she's conscious when there is a situation in any place, given place, without any logic to it, conscious of certain energies and how different people and different forms and different spaces impact you. So the science of consecration is just this. The best material to consecrate is a human being. Because of all the physical forms on this planet, this is the most evolved physical form. The easiest thing to consecrate is a human being. But the problem with the human being is, every few minutes they'll make a U-turn. You can consecrate them right now, by tomorrow morning we don't know. So first of all, to get them committed to stay with whatever is given to them is a big issue, especially in today's world. Because of that, we consecrate other forms. We always want to choose a form or a substance, first of all, which is of the highest density possible, because physical form, its strength and its integrity depends upon its density. So we normally solidify mercury to do this. This is called as Rasavaidya, which means it is the technology of solidifying mercury. People think it's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle. We use mercury as a process of consecration. The idea is it will change the very energy in which you are. Well, today our modern science is still busy studying physical things. Everything physical about you has been gathered from outside, isn't it so? Hello? What you call as my body is just a piece of this planet. You slowly gather it by the food that you eat. So if everything physical about you is just something else, not you, what you gathered cannot be you. What is you? Definitely there is a dimension beyond physicality. If you ignore that, there's simply no life. But right now, still the logic, the human logic which thinks it is scientific is still at this level of logic that except what I can measure on the instrument does not exist. So actually all of you do not exist because you cannot be measured. This happened to me. I don't subject myself to these indignities anymore. Way back, because of some obligation, I was in some institute, they said, we want to measure your gamma waves. I didn't know I had gamma waves. They said, no, there are gamma waves in your brain, we will measure it. So they put 14 electrodes into my body and they said, meditate. I said, I don't know how to meditate. They said, you teach everybody meditation. Yes, I do, because they don't know how to sit still. If you want, I will sit still. But this is the whole problem. Their problem is they want what kind of meditation? They want a name and the process and they want to measure the result. So I am not going to give them that pleasure. I said, if you want, I'll sit still. So I simply sat. After about 20 minutes, with some metallic object, they're hitting that funny place in your elbow, where it hurts most. Then I thought it's part of their experiment and I sat there. Then they're hitting my ankle, my knee. It became quite consistent and painful. Then I opened my eyes and said, am I doing something wrong? Why am I being beaten? They said, no, according to our instruments, you are dead. I said, this is a great diagnosis you have. But then they thought through and they said, no, it looks like your brain is dead. I said, I will stay with the first opinion. I am dead like this is okay with me. Brain dead if you give me a certificate. That's not going to be good. Why I am saying this is, the essential life that you are, you think you are going to measure it in some instrument? Only physical processes will measure, isn't it? And you know, everything physical about you is from outside, it's not yours. It's not yours, it's just a piece of the planet. So, you can't be measured, so you don't exist. What a great conclusion are you making? So what is consecration? Is a dimension of energy which is not physical in nature, but it's life, concentrated life, let's say. Consecration is a way of creating a very concentrated life process. If you walk in, it's like that. So, in certain cultures, particularly in India, every street we consecrated at one time. But people slowly misunderstood, thinking these are temples for worship, whatever, it all went into all kinds of things. But still there are fantastic spaces of consecration in that culture, you must come and experience this. These days they're measuring some bio stuff and all, they're saying some fantastic things happening, I don't know what their meters are. But I know this, the elder is saying she knows this, if you walk into a space, you know how alive or dead that space is. So is it measurable by something? No. Only life knows life. When life meets life, it knows. When life meets death, it knows. Is there some instrument to measure this? No, because all your instruments can only measure physical processes. So consecration is the concentrated life process. No human being should live in unconsecrated spaces. If you care for humanity, especially children below 14 years of age, believe me, if you make sure they spend a certain amount of time in consecrated spaces, you will not have any of this nonsense about adolescence problems. See, right now, toddler… if you're an infant, diaper problems, toddler means he's running away problems, adolescent means some other problem, middle age means crisis, old age means horrible. When are you going to live, I'm asking? You're looking at life process as a problem. It's not a problem. You're making it a problem because you're trying to fit life into your intellect. No, your intellect fits into this life perfectly well. If you try to fit this life into this intellect, it's not going to work. So consecration is a dimension and a science and a technology with which you concentrate life in such a way, if you walk in, your whole energy system bursts forth. You will see we have created spaces like this, if people just walk in, sheer intensity, simply tears start flowing. They don't know why. Simply the intensity of the place, simply tears start coming. You must every day, your cheeks should be washed with tears of love, joy and ecstasy. If this doesn't happen, you're not living yet.
Sadhguru, we've just got a few more minutes left, but I wondered, I mean, it was such a beautiful thought that you just left us with, but I wondered if there was some final thought or a mantra or something that you can leave our audience with before they go home.
See, this is what I would like to change. To learn ABC, just 26 alphabets in English language. If you come to Tamil language, 212 alphabets at least, it's complicated. Only 26 alphabets. Tell me, how many years did you spend just learning the alphabet and learning to use it? Your basic education till high school, this is all you're doing, learning to use the language and using the language so that you can understand whatever comes your way, this all. At least 12 years. 12 years you spent, one solar cycle that's called in yoga. One solar cycle you spent just to learn a language, to communicate with people. But to transform your life, you want a 2-minute mantra. That is what she was trying to say, because certain people told you that if you just utter this so many syllables, everything will be transformed. I'm not saying it is not possible. It is possible because sound has that power to transform if you use the sound right. But what level of preparation are you is the question. If you throw such a small seed somewhere, it'll become a huge tree. But only if the soil is fertile, isn't it? If you put it here on this platform, will it grow? So, what have we done to ourselves? What is the level of preparedness we have? This is the issue. All of you, I could just initiate you into a powerful meditation process just like that in 2 minutes, if only certain level of preparedness was there. But to do this, a few minutes of initiation, normally in our basic program we spend 30 to 32 hours of preparation because everybody has invested in all kinds of identities. People keep asking me, Sadhguru, what is the secret? How did you become like this? I told them, this is all I did. never identified myself with anything. The moment your intelligence gets identified with something, you must understand this, the nature of the intellect is such, suppose you identify that you are a woman. Now your intellect keeps on doing rounds around that, protecting this gender all the time. Now you say, I'm English. Now it will go only around that, protecting that. Now you say, I'm a particular religion. Now it'll go only around that. Whatever is your identity, your intellect will serve only that. The moment you identify yourself with something, you have subjugated your intelligence to just self-defense and protection and survival. The intellect could have been a penetrating force to reveal life to you. Instead, you're using it to fight life, other life, because it's a defense mechanism. The moment I have an identity, I have to defend it, isn't it? Just to be here, without any sense of who the hell I am, you actually don't know who the hell you are. Hello? Assumed stuff, isn't it? Only because you dip into your memory. So if suppose Mr. Alzheimer visits you, suddenly you don't know who the hell you are. Even now you don't know. This is an assumption based on the accumulated memory. So if you just learn this one thing before you go to bed tonight, everything that you are not, keep it aside and go to bed, okay? Say right now this clothing, is this you? No. So you understand this, not me. It's not that physically you have to keep it aside. I'm saying, you know this is not me. Is this me? This is not me. Is this body me? This is accumulated, this can't be me, isn't it? It is said, if you live here for about 75 years, you approximately eat, depending upon your diet of course, you approximately eat between 12 to 1400 tons of food. Are you carrying it right now? Hello? Those of you who are middle-aged, are you carrying at least 600 tons? Where is it? What you thought was my body is coming and going all the time, isn't it? It's not even the same body. It's coming and going all the time. So this is not me, if you keep it aside. All the impressions that you have gathered, you also gathered from outside. Keep that aside. Everything that's not you, just keep it aside and go to bed and see if you can just be little conscious till that last moment, till you fall asleep. Most people don't know when they fall asleep. Most people. When I say most, I'm being generous with percentages, 99. If you make a little effort, just a little effort, a few days, if you make an effort to stay conscious till you fall asleep, you will see you will wake up like a newborn baby every day. And it's important. Why I'm saying a newborn baby, where Yelda will have this experience in a wonderful way, you will see the baby. What do you think he's trying to do? He's drinking life. You become like that. Why? Because you're just living in the capsule of your memory. You think you already got it. If you got it, you must be dead, isn't it? So people are practicing death in installments. See, if you're really super alive, it's fantastic. If you're dead, it's good. But if I want to torture you, what will I do? I will not kill you. I will make you half alive. That's torture, isn't it? This is what is self-inflicted for most human beings right now. They're keeping themselves half alive and they're wondering why life is such a torture. I just asked a simple question about a year and a half ago when I was in London. I was speaking to a very prominent group of people. I asked, how many people in London city can sit in the evening peacefully even without a glass of wine? They clearly said less than 1%. So to be healthful, you need a chemical. Today 70% of the people are on prescription medication of some sort. To be peaceful, you need chemicals. To be joyful, you need chemicals. To be ecstatic, of course you have ecstasy. I'm saying for everything if you need chemicals from outside, this is not a moral issue for me. The concern is this, If 90% of the population is doing chemicals to be healthful, joyful, peaceful, everything, the next generation that you produce will be less than you. This is a crime against humanity. Next generation should be at least one step ahead of us. But if you produce a generation which is behind you, you're seeing this, you're beginning to see this everywhere. If you produce a generation which is less than you,